Davey du Plessis had been in the Amazon for a very good cause. He was collecting information that scientists could use to save the environment. But out of nowhere, he was shot and wounded by strangers he never provoked. Given the horrific nature of the attack, it's almost impossible to believe Davey survived to tell the story. Now, negotiating the dense forest while at the same time nursing his bleeding neck, torso and leg, Davey learned he'd been shot with pellets. But what he hadn't discovered at this stage was how dire his condition was. Some of the pellets penetrated his vital organs and punctured one of his lungs.
And I made this conscious decision that if I'm going to live, it's going to be my choice. I'm going to keep breathing, I'm going to keep moving, I'm going to keep finding a way out of this jungle, and I'm not going to give up. If I do die, it's because I'll die out of blood loss or exhaustion.
Meanwhile, back home, Davey's mother was beginning to lose hope.
I didn't hear from him at all, and I honestly thought that he had died. And it was like every minute matters, you know. You just wait and you for that call from him, and it's difficult. It's very difficult.
A few hours after the senseless attack, two good-hearted strangers appeared, angels who offered him help.
We couldn't understand each other. I mean, I could hardly speak Spanish, and they speak their own dialect of Spanish, thing which is called Quechuan. But they could see that I was hurt.
They took him to their community. His wounds were extremely bad, and there weren't any modern health facilities to help the adventurer. The closest city was Pucallpa, hundreds of kilometers away.
But in order to get me there, they would have to hop me through different communities, because that community, many of the communities in the jungle, they didn't have the resources or the petrol to get me all the way there in one shot.
Vomiting and bleeding, Davey was now being ferried from one rural community to another. It was an agonizing journey that lasted for almost 24 hours. Even though he had no money and couldn't speak Spanish, somehow he still made it to Pucallpa.
You know, it was a second-rate hospital, and when I got there, I thought, this is it. Now you're fine, you've made it. I got there, and the issue then became money.
Davey needed to get hold of someone who could pay the hospital bills, as his attackers had stolen all his valuables. Fortunately, he managed to call home.
When I got that call and Davey phoned and he said to me, "Mum, I've been shot and I need help." Now I'm how many miles away from him. I felt totally helpless. I didn't know where to begin.
Robin did whatever she could to reach out to her son, using social networks and phoning people who could speak Spanish. She eventually got hold of a relative who worked for a local company that had a branch in Peru.
So my uncle, Drew, managed to network through the SAB division, and he got through to individuals in Pucallpa, in SAB, and said, "Listen, my nephew's there." They eventually came to my aid, and they said, "Okay, listen," they said to the doctor, "Okay, we're here, we're going to provide a surety."
He stayed in the South American hospital for a whole month before he finally returned to South Africa. Davey du Plessis' story is nothing short of miraculous. Shot and left for dead, alone in the Amazon, trekking through numerous communities to get to a hospital. The will to live superseding everything.
And if I wanted to, I could let those two men change all my perspectives of society, but I didn't. encountered 2 malicious men, but I was saved by hundreds in the jungle. This story is to reinforce the goodness within mankind.
Up until today, Davey still doesn't know why those strangers tried to kill him. Well, that's it for now. Join us again next time as we explore the lives of those who dare to dream. The people who are committed to making South Africa a country of possibilities. My name is Mpho. Cheers.